Hey guys, it's Melissa here from melissaoatman.com. Welcome to Awaken Your Inner Awesomeness, a daily podcast devoted to spirituality and self-help. If you're new, I want to welcome you. If you're returning, welcome back. So today on my show, I want to talk to you guys about the Aries full moon, which is happening Thursday, October 1st and Friday, October 2nd. So it will still be happening this evening as you're listening to this. So Aries, this is a strong fire sign, and this full moon is also referred to as the harvest moon, and it's also a rare blue moon because October is going to have two full moons. There's one on the 1st, and then there's one on the 31st on Halloween. So as you can imagine, this is going to be a very powerful month. So I wanted to talk to you today about what you can do to really harness the power of this full moon for yourself in order to see better things happening in your life. So one of the things I want to talk to you about before you can even start manifesting things with a full moon, we really need to make sure that we are in the right headspace and the right personal space for manifesting. So one of the things that I find so interesting is people want to manifest, and yet they have all of these negative thoughts in their head, and they're like, I'm not seeing my manifestations. And it's like, no, you're not, because you're not in the right vibration for it. So you need to get your head right. What does that mean? Well, probably these past few months, you have, like everyone else, been frustrated by things going on around you, and it's probably triggered a lot of anxiety. The truth is, you probably experienced a lot of triggers lately, as many of us have, and the reason for that is because the universe is wanting us to purge these negative emotional feelings that we have. So for some of you, you may have had abandonment issues come up. For some of you, you may have had low self-esteem issues come up. What happens is someone triggers you, and what it's actually doing is pointing out to you the things within you that you still need to heal. So even though triggers are like kind of awful and we hate them, they are necessary, because what it's really doing is purging us, allowing us to see what we still need to heal, and then being able to let it go. Because as I always say, if you don't heal your inner wounding, you're going to bleed all over people who didn't cut you, because what you end up doing is projecting all of that negative stuff onto your partner or to your family member or to whoever. So you really need to get rid of that. So you may have been purging a lot lately. So if you felt that way, it's okay. It's perfectly normal. This is supposed to happen. So the next thing, though, is that it's important for you to not allow worry and anxiety and all of those residual feelings to overtake you. It's important that you relax your mind. And there are a lot of really great ways to do that. You know, when we go into that cycle of negative thinking, it can become very difficult to get out of it. So what I always like to tell people, number one, mind your mind. So when you notice that you're starting to think negatively, it's time for you to say stop, rewind, delete, and then replace that negative thought with at least 4 positive thoughts. The other thing that you can do is if you feel like you're just overthinking and you're just in this anxious state and you just don't know what to do, you kind of need to snap yourself out of it. And there are a couple of ways you can do that. Basically, what we want to do is to reset your brain. And one way that you can do that is by doing an activity that creates a new neural pathway in your brain. So learning another language is a great way to do that. And there are a lot of really great free apps out there for you, like Duolingo and Memrise. And you can pick any language. You know, most people traditionally think of Spanish and German and French and all of that, but they have Japanese and they have Russian and so many other different kinds of languages that most people normally wouldn't even think about. So maybe go to one of those apps and take a look at that and see, like, hey, today I might want to learn Mandarin. It will be an interesting adventure, and it's also doing something that's creating a new neural pathway for you, and it's taking you out of your own head. Another thing you can do, and one of my clients tells me that she likes to make jewelry, because when you're doing those tasks like that, whether it's making jewelry, sewing, crocheting, painting, any of those kinds of tasks, you're actually taking the focus away from yourself and putting it on the task at hand. Now, my daughter absolutely loves to do the adult coloring books. In fact, her counselor recommended this when she was experiencing a lot of anxiety, because the adult coloring books, they're exactly what you think they are. They're coloring books made for adults, but they have very intricate patterns, and sometimes you can get the ones that have mandalas there that you can color. And it, again, takes the focus of your brain away from yourself and puts it on the task at hand. And what that does, in effect, is it relieves the anxiety and the feelings of depression. So if you've been feeling lately like you're overwhelmed by your own thoughts, a really good idea is to do something like that. Either make jewelry, paint, learn a new language, crochet, do the adult coloring books. Just find a task that you can do that's going to take your mind away from your problems for a while. It's sort of like meditation. It's the same kind of thing. In meditation, we're taking the focus off of what we're feeling inside, and instead during the guided meditation, we're asked to think about other things, and that usually helps a lot. So get your mind right. That is one thing that you can do. The other thing is, you may feel that, just like Aries, this zodiac sign is the fire sign, you may feel a fire within you to really go out and make some change in the world. I know a lot of people have been feeling this lately, whether they've gone out to join a peaceful protest in order to show their support of different organizations, or whether, because we have upcoming elections, some people have felt that it's been beneficial for them to get out and help with voter registration. Whatever, you may be feeling like you have a need to get out there and really help in your community. And that's perfectly normal right now. So take advantage of this energy to get out there and really do something that leaves a positive, lasting effect on your community. Another thing that you need to understand is that you probably have a lot of energy right now. And I know some of you are going, I don't have any energy, I'm totally exhausted. But what I mean is, you have a lot of desire right now to make change in your life, because full moons are all about letting go of what no longer serves us, and it is about making change. So if you feel like you have this extra stress and tension from wanting to see change happen in your life, it's important that you get some exercise. So part of harnessing the power of the full moon is by first making sure that you are ready energetically. So that means minding your mind and making sure your mind is clear, and also that you are taking care of yourself and getting exercise, burning off some stress. One of the cards that keep coming up in the readings that I've been doing for people over the last few weeks has been the grounding card and the getting out in nature card. So I think it's really important that you take care of yourself and go get out in nature. It really does make a difference. So go sit outside and just have your coffee out on the deck and watch the animals all around you, wherever you are. If it's fall, watching the leaves changing color and falling, and it's not quite happening in my area yet, but it's going to be. Go put your feet in the grass, just enjoy. I just like sitting outside and allowing the sun to shine on my face and just to feel that warmth, which we all need, that vitamin D from the sun. So ground yourself in nature and get some exercise too. Go for a walk. We need to be really moving our bodies, and I will be the first one to admit that I need to do this more often than I have been doing it, but it's just been a crazy busy time. So I really need to get back into the swing of things, of making sure that I'm taking care of those things for myself as well. Now's the perfect time with the full moon to harness the power of asking for things, manifesting things, right? Whether it's really physically in the physical world that you go to your boss and you ask for a raise, or you tell your husband that you need more affection, or whatever. It could be physically in the physical world that you ask, or it could be manifestations that you send out to the universe. And there are a couple of ways that you can do manifesting. You can go out there and look online and find all kinds of manifestation rituals. I will just tell you what I do and what I think is important. Now, you can ask mentally, like when you pray, you can ask for your manifestations. But I personally think there's a lot of power in writing them down. And the other thing that I truly love about writing down my manifestations is that you can go back and look at what it was you were manifesting and see what you've been able to do so far. So I go back and I look at my list. And I remember my original list for manifesting was, I want to have a podcast. Okay, check, got that done. I want to publish a book. Check, got that done. There's so many things from that. When I look back there now, I'm like, wow, I really did manifest all of these things. I was able to make all of these things happen along course with the universe. So it's cool when you write it down, because not only do I think you have more power in your words when you write it down, but I think that you can go back and look at it and say, look how far I've come and look how many things I've been able to manifest. So take some time and maybe even make a ritual out of it. So put on some soft music, maybe burn a candle and sit down. And you can even put on some essential oil in a diffuser too to set the mood. Or some people like to clear their space with sage or with Palo Santo, and certainly you can. Do whatever feels right for you. I don't think there's a right or wrong way. I think it's whatever feels good for you. And then sit down with your pad and your paper, your notebook, and start writing down what it is that you wish to see. And I would get, specific, but not in a way that it limits the universe, if you know what I mean. Because sometimes we say things like, I want $1,000, and if you'd be willing to have more than that, you don't want to limit the universe, but put down what it is that you're hoping to manifest in the coming months. And then, of course, the most important thing is the gratitude. Thank you, universe, for everything that I've manifested and for all of the things that I will be manifesting. And then we also need to remember to let go of control, because the universe is very powerful, can bring things in many different ways. We don't need to try to control when, how, where, why, whatever is going to show up. So put your intention out there and just let it go. It's kind of like, it reminds me of myself in doing this podcast, because I will record the podcast and then I put it out there. I don't listen to the podcast before I upload it. Number one, because I don't like hearing the sound of my voice. But number two, because I don't have the time to sit and listen to everything and then put it out there. So I'm of the belief it doesn't have to be perfect. You just have to show up, because that's what people are looking for, is for someone to show up. So I put my podcast out there. Now, on occasion, probably a handful of times, I will get a message, and I'm calling her out. It's usually from Ginger, but I really appreciate it. She will send me a message and say, your podcast didn't upload, like something happened, there's a problem, it won't play. And so then it's usually something that is a quick fix. I have to go and do something and fix it. But I'm grateful that she lets me know, like, hey, this happened. And some people might say, oh my gosh, you have to sit there and make sure that everything's perfect. You don't. I mean, if things happen, it's okay. It's not the end of the world. And in the same way, when you want to manifest something, put out there what it is that you want and then let it go. Don't try to control it, because we're just really tying the hands of the universe when we do that, because there's so many ways that we can get what we want. We're not that creative, really. The universe is way more creative than we are, so we need to just let that go. Speaking of letting it go, another thing that I love to do when there's a full moon is to release things that are no longer serving me. So I like to sit and think about all of the things that are in my life right now that aren't serving me, that I can let go. And I will admit that most of the time it's my way of thinking. I will think back on the previous month and say, okay, you know what? I allowed fear to come in and to make me worried about this, and this month when I really shouldn't have. I didn't need to, and I need to stop doing that. So what I like to do, and again, you can do this in a ceremony, whatever you like to do, I like to light a candle, And then I have my notebook paper and I write down all of the things that I don't want to bring with me into the new month or new season. All of the things that I want to let go of. And it can be anything from, like one time it was, I know that I am like trying to use other distractions to keep me from having to think about what's really going on in my life and to keep me from really doing the work that I need to do. Like I would be going out with friends all of the time instead of sitting home and thinking about things that I needed to fix within my own life. So that particular releasing, I said, okay, you need to stop avoiding the issues that you need to fix. So no more avoidance. That was one of the things that went on there. And then no more blockages because of fear, whether it's blockages to success, blockages to money, whatever it is, blockages to love. I'm not going to allow that to happen anymore because it's not serving me. And this is just my ego or maybe past life experiences telling me that I don't deserve these things. And it's not true. So I put everything down on my list that I want to see gone, those patterns that I don't want to see repeating in my life anymore. I put all of that down on the piece of paper, and then I just say a little prayer. I just tell the universe, look, I'm asking you to help me release this in love. It no longer serves me, and I don't want it to be affecting my life anymore. And so I release this to you. And then I burn the piece of paper with the fire. Of course, you do this in a safe setting so I don't burn down the house, but I then burn the piece of paper. And you don't have to burn it. You can tear it up, rip it up. To me, symbolically burning something, I like doing that. It resonates with me, and I like seeing it go up in smoke, literally. So that's what I do. Another thing that people like to do for the full moon is to set their crystals out under the light of the full moon because it charges them. So that's something else that you can do. Again, there are so many rituals out there, and you can just go and search for some online and just see, what resonates with you. I'm the kind of person, though, I don't believe you have to follow everything step by step. I think that, if you see someone else's ritual and you're like, I like this part of it, but I don't like that part of it, take what works for you and then just leave the rest. So make it something that is your own. That's going to have way more meaning to you than if you're going through and doing all of these things. You're like, I don't even know why I'm doing this. So take it and make it your own. And another thing I'd like to point out is if you have things that you're writing down that you wish to manifest, also make sure that you're doing your part in helping that manifestation. It's really good to spend some time silently reflecting on your manifestations because sometimes we get guidance from the universe that says, well, if you want to see this, you need to do this. You need to take this first step. So I like to also just spend a little time in quiet reflection with those manifestations and just see if anything comes to me as I'm looking over them. Like, is there something that I should be doing to help get this going? And, the biggest thing is making sure that you're in the right vibration, which means that you are doing things actively every day to make sure you're raising your vibration, whether you're listening to music, doing meditations or affirmations or tappings, doing all of those things, going for walks, making sure that you are getting enough sleep, that you're taking care of yourself. All of those things are going to help you. So I hope that you will use this powerful and energetic time to really do things that are going to affect positive change in your life. And I know you're going to see a difference when you do. So I wanted to pull a card for you today, and the card I pulled is from Louise Hay's Heart Thoughts deck, and the card I got was, I follow my inner wisdom. I am at peace with my own being, I love myself, and trust that I am making the right choices. I love that. So this really has to do with knowing that you have these intuitive gifts and learning how to use them and lean on them to help you. I love that. I think we should be doing that way more often. All right, guys. Well, I want to thank you so much for being here with me. I'm sorry that my voice seems to be going out a little bit. I actually recorded this whole podcast halfway through and it just disappeared. The recording did. So I've actually had to record this twice. So that's why my voice is going a little bit. But I want to thank you so much for being here with me. And as always, if you like this podcast, please subscribe. Please leave me a review from wherever you're listening. If you could leave me some stars on iTunes, I'd really appreciate that. If you could share it with anyone you think might enjoy it, that helps me out a lot. I want to thank those of you who are following and who have already left feedback. Also, if you want to follow me on social media, I go live Mondays at 6:30 Central for a free reading on Facebook. And if you show up for the live, I will pull a card just for you. Also, don't forget to check out my YouTube channel. I have free guided meditations and tappings there and an affirmation. I also have a free guided meditation for morning and evening if you sign up for my website. If you want to work with me, you can go to my website, melissaoatman.com, and there you will find a list of services I offer from the offerings page, and you can purchase the session directly from my website. When you're ready to schedule, you just contact me and we will set it up. All sessions are done online through Zoom. I hope that you guys have a beautiful day from wherever you're listening. I am sending you guys so much love and light, and I will talk to you soon. Bye, guys.